best friend texted me at 2 a.m. and said, "Girl, you went to the party? I thought you were dying." But I was dying. I'd been in bed with a 102 fever for 2 days and hadn't gone anywhere. My hands were shaking as I started typing back to ask what she meant, but then a video came through. It was my twin sister Maddie. She was wearing my red devil costume, the one I'd made myself and hung in our shared closet. In the video, she was dancing against Alex in the basement of Sigma Chi with his hands on her waist. Then they started making out. Then they disappeared into a bedroom. Alex had been my boyfriend for 4 years. He was the one thing in my life that Maddie had never touched. I watched the video 3 times before I threw up, though that might have been the flu. He left the party at 3 a.m. and came back to my dorm, still drunk and genuinely confused when he found me in bed. "Wait, what are you doing here?" he said, swaying in my doorway. I thought you were still at the party." I stared at him. "I've been in bed for 2 days." His face went from confused to horrified. "Wait, no, was that—" He couldn't even finish the sentence. "After 4 years together, you know which twin you're kissing," I said. He didn't argue. We both knew his excuse was pathetic. I told him to leave and not come back. Maddie didn't come back to our dorm until that afternoon. She didn't apologize or even pretend to feel bad about what she'd done. She just looked at me lying in bed, still feverish and shaking, and she smiled. "Can't blame him for not knowing the difference," she said. "Maybe you two weren't as solid as you thought." I didn't respond. I just stared at the ceiling and listened to her hum while she unpacked her overnight bag, acting like nothing had happened. This is what Maddie has always done. She studies my life like she's preparing for a final exam, then takes the test and somehow scores higher than me. My friends become our friends. My interests become her entire personality. My boyfriend becomes her conquest. She's been copying me since we were kids, and everyone has always thought it was cute or harmless. But it's not harmless when you spend your whole life feeling like a rough draft that someone else keeps turning into a final version. After that night, I completely shut down. I stayed in bed for 2 weeks, skipping classes and barely eating. I couldn't even look at Maddie, but I also couldn't escape her because we shared a dorm. I just lay there feeling hollow, like she'd finally taken the last piece of me that was mine. Eventually, my friend Maya decided she'd had enough of watching me waste away. She showed up one afternoon and physically dragged me out of bed, telling me I needed sunlight and fresh air and anything other than the 4 walls I shared with Maddie. We ended up wandering around a Halloween clearance store because Maya wanted cheap decorations for her apartment. I drifted over to the costume aisle and started trying on wigs just